In this topic, we're going to discuss the song Solamente una vez in detail. If you haven't already listened to it, you can do so by accessing further readings. You will be hard-pressed to find a Latin American of a certain age who's never heard or requested this one. Millions know it by heart. They love it. Great opera singers have made it even more popular. Agustin Lara composed it and sang the original version in 1941, a golden age of bolero. It soon became his trademark, the one people wanted to hear over and over again. It's a simple melody, not so complicated arrangement, and apparently simple lyrics about loving or giving your heart only once. There is nothing more to it. But hey, it's Agustin Lara we're talking about, and there is nothing simple about this particular song. On the contrary, it's one of the most anti-religious songs ever written in Latin America. It touches upon exactly what Lara cared about, attacking authority, in this case, using religious iconography in a very anti-religious or mundane way. So, once again, I'm going to give you the lyrics in Spanish and English, okay? Here we go. The song talks about loving only once. Solamente una vez amé en la vida. Only once in my life I truly loved. And it begins like a confession from an eye that is talking about his or her love experience. As we know, putting yourself out there in the open was essential in a time when becoming visible was what people care about. It was about gaining recognition, intimate and social visibility. The beginning of the song is not complicated, but in the next stanza, the lover put himself in Jesus' place. Una vez nada más en mi huerto brilló la esperanza. Only once did hope shine on my garden. In a clear reference to Gethsemane, the olive grove where Jesus' faith was tested. The biblical olive grove suddenly becomes the scene for a carnal affection, but not to test the divine beliefs of the Son of God. Bolero brings to earth a sublime and sacred experience, just like in other songs, women became virgins and saints. The light that once shone on Jesus now lights the path the lover must follow on his lonely journey. La esperanza que alumbra el camino de mi soledad, the hope that lights the way of my loneliness. It's not the light of redemption, but of human despair. Because this song talks about a lost love, or better yet, an unattainable love. Bolero songs often talk about loves that are desired but are unreachable. It's important to remember that in the beginning, during the period of modernization, Bolero channeled the aspirations and dreams of the new middle class, people who were looking for something that was far away, unattainable, like love itself. The only love men could get was the forbidden love of a prostitute, but the one they desired was elusive. And if it existed at least once, like in this song, it's now gone. Because real love can be experienced only once, right? When you surrender your soul. Una vez nada más se entrega el alma con la dulce y total renunciación. Only once does the soul give itself with sweet and total renunciation. Again, the lover gives his or her soul not to God, but to the beloved. To follow God, you must renounce yourself, but in this case, you renounce yourself to give your soul to someone you love. Neither the church nor God come first in the eyes of the lover. He or she selfishly put his or her own drama above all. His or her experience becomes sublime and divine, but not in heaven, here on earth. When the communion of soul and flesh is complete, the lover is not saved by God's grace, but by the lover's acceptance of his or her love. Y cuando ese milagro realiza el prodigio de amarse, Hay campanas de fiesta que cantan en el corazón. And when that miracle creates the wonder of love, there are happy bells ringing in one's heart. The last stanza is full of religious iconography. A miracle, the singing of bells, a joyous heart. I repeat, the lover is not interested in being saved by the church, but by another lover. God's love is of no consequence. Again, the song is short and it appears really simple, but the way in which Agustin Lara uses religion is mesmerizing. And this is not the only song of his that does that. We already seen Santa, the divine prostitute. This song exemplifies that rebellious attitude in Bolero that we've been talking about. The romantic discourse is superseded, and it does resemble the desire to reach a level of sublimity that we find in romantic literature from the late 18th and 19th century. In German, English, or French literature, God manifested himself in nature. Human beings saw the majestic power of God in a mountain, a waterfall, a storm. These powerful manifestations of the divine shook you up, instilled terror in you, taught you a lesson in humility. In this song by Agustin Lara, the divine is again in nature, but does not prevail. What prevails is the lover's selfish and carnal desire. So we can say, well played, Señor Lara, well played.